Good morning and welcome in on this Monday morning, and fingers crossed that we are going to have sound and all of those magic things this morning, and Friday's glitches are all a thing of the past. We can but hope. So if you haven't ever joined me before, my name is Helen Jennings. We have a horn beeping in delight in the background. I am a Stamping Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and welcome in to come and do a little bit of crafting with us on this Monday morning. So as I say, I hope the sound is okay. Do let me know if there are any issues. Hopefully I shall see your comments coming up, even if I'm not able to make myself heard. I can see what you're saying to me. So do come on and say hello. Let us know where you're joining us from. Let us know what you're up to. And do join in the chat as we go along. And as always, do like, share, follow, all of those things. And let's grow our little community. That's what it's all about, is sharing the crafting together. So I am going to try something a bit new, a bit dangerous, I know, after Friday's escapades with sound. But let's see if this works. Ta-da! I've created a couple of little slides. So here is one. This is me, www.loveaduckie.co.uk, and that is where you can find me. So if you are looking online, you'll find my website at that place. And on top of that, you will also find class details there. You'll find inspiration in my blog. You'll find all of those sorts of things. And wherever you're looking for me under on social media, whether that's Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, you will find me there under Love-a-Duckie. So that is me. And the other one I wanted to share with you is the card making tutorial. Now, as you can see, we have sneak peeks of all 13. Well, you might not be able to see, one of them might be hiding. We have sneak peeks of all of our projects that are going to be in the Ukraine tutorial up there. There's a sneak peek of mine on there as well. That is still available to buy. So if you would like to support us, supporting the people in Ukraine, then do head on over to my website and grab yourself a tutorial bundle. It is nearly ready. I think in the next couple of days I should be sending it out to people who have already purchased it. And if you go on to purchase it, after that point, you should be able to download it straight away, but it's nearly at that point. But do keep supporting us, supporting the people of Ukraine with that tutorial. So there's news, and that seemed to work quite well. We will see. Let's carry on and see how everything else works today. Right, I'm going to bring in my downward facing camera. That looks really quite dark today. I have, believe it or not, got my overhead camera already on and light already on. So I think we must just be having a bit of a overcast, dark sort of a day today, so apologies for that. But this is what we're going to be playing with today, the Friends of the Forest stamp set. Now, for any of you that may have bought I think it was Peaceful Deer, wasn't it, over Christmas? The punch from those Peaceful Deer does actually coordinate with this stamp set. So it's not bundled, you can't get it as a bundle, but they do come. This little deer here, you can punch out with your deer punch. But as well as the little deer, you've also got lots of other cute little creatures in there. You've got that little rabbit. You've got fox. You've got a little bird. You've got this nice little tree stump just here. And this rather pretty, really quite style, sort of modern style, sort of trees. There's all those nice line images that you're going to be able to colour in. And you've got a little row here of little toadstools and flowers as well. So that's all looking really rather cute. I'm just wondering if I've got my light up as far as it will go. It is indeed. It just is, I think, quite dull today. So yes, so that's what we're going to be playing with. But obviously, over these last few days, few weeks, and going forward a few weeks, we're also going to be teaming it with something from the Savings Are in Bloom offer that is on. So this offer is for the mini stamp and cut and emboss that you can get at 20% off during the month of March. But not only can you get that little wonderful little machine at 20% off, there are also 13 different stamp and die bundles that are also at 20% off. Morning, Jackie, during the month of March. And obviously, if you've already got a machine, or if you don't need a little machine, you've got a big machine that you're quite happy with, you can buy the stamp and die bundles without the machine. The one isn't reliant on the other. So now is a good time to have a browse through the stamp and die bundles that are available to see if there's any that are on your wish list. And I keep flipping this over, but there are 3 here that the stamps and the dies are all available in the annual catalogue, but they haven't been available as a bundle because they were carried over from a previous production, a previous catalogue or leaflet or promotion or something. But for the month of March, the Art Gallery bundle, the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle and the Garden Wishes bundle are all going to be available back as a bundle and as a 20% off bundle. So they certainly are worth looking out for. And obviously the sunflowers is one that a lot of people are using at the moment because that is, of course, the national flower of Ukraine. So yeah, you'll see a lot of that being used at the moment, I think. Quick slurp of water. So what are we going to team our Friends of the Forest with? Well, we'll keep with the forest theme. Good morning, Lisa. And we're going to team it with the Beauty of Friendship bundle. So that is this stamp set just here with all these lovely trees. So you've got your branches, but you've also got these different tops of your trees that you can layer up and stamp the different layers on top of each other, or just use one layer, or however you want to work it, as well as some really gorgeous greetings and things. And then the dies that go with that is quite a nice big die set, but they will all still go through your mini machine. You've got your trees, so you've got your tree outlines, you've got your tree sort of canopies, and then you've got various little label pieces here, and these cute little birds as well. So yeah, we're going to possibly be playing along with those. And I have also sort of pulled out the Bark 3D embossing folder. We will see, that was part of the original suite of products, along with this gorgeous paper in the annual catalogue, if you go to look for the Beauty of Friendship bundle. So we might have a play with those. Who knows? We will see. We will see how the mood takes us. Okay, right. So let's get started. Now you will see as soon as I open this that I obviously haven't played with this yet. In fact, I've only just got my punch back from its holiday. So here is the photopolymer stamp. That obviously is not going to show up very well on your camera, but it is a photopolymer stamp. It is a clear stamp, so you can see through it if you want to. And let's start out. Let's have one of these. This little deer just here. Hello, dear. And I'm going to stamp him, her. Hasn't got any antlers, but there are antlers on the punch if you wanted to add some in. No reason why you can't. But this one has a bit more of a sort of spring, summery feel about it, rather than the Christmas feel of the previous one. Let's go up to slightly bigger block. We'll go up to a D block. I'm just going to reach over and get a Stampin' Pierce mat. And I think I might colour them in with watercolour pencils. So I'm going to go, or shall I go watercolour? I don't know. Whichever way, I'm going to go for my Saddle Brown Stays On ink. Oh, rather than going black, we'll have a brown outline. There she is. I think perhaps we will get the watercolour brushes out and crumb cake. It's a little bit of Blushing Bride. We might go in with a little bit of soft suede. I'm going to squeeze my brush and get my water coming through. I do find every now with water painters, I have to soak them in a little bit of white vinegar, particularly if I've been leaving them with water, if they've had water left in them. So I think these might be nearly ready to have a bit of a soak. I also need to do some replacing of pads. The trouble is there's always new stamp sets and things to spend your pennies on. And add a bit of water in there. So I've got a bit of crumb cake here. And let's paint our deer. I'm going to put down a layer of crumb cake. Let's put in a little bit of Blushing Bride on the snout and ears. I'm also going to come in with a little bit of soft suede, so slightly dark brown, around this sort of piece where there's the spots. And perhaps on the end of the tail. Right, I'm going to go back into the soft suede now. Not soft suede, crumb cake. Let's bring that all together a little bit. We added a little bit of soft suede down by the toes, by the hooves. Right, we've added some colour to our little deer. Obviously, we've gone watercolour. You could have gone watercolour pencils. You could go stamping blends. All sorts of ways of colouring them in. Let's bring in our punch. And let's pop her in there. And let's punch her out. So there we have our little deer. We want a little bit of a background for her. Let me find my trimmer. I'm going to cut a piece that is 13.9 by 9.5. So that's that second size mat. And we'll have a bit of balmy blue. Now I've just got ordinary white cardstock here, so I'm going to hunt out my blending brush. Ooh, got a bit of yellow ink on there. Don't quite know how I have managed that. Let me just get something to get rid of that before I go any further. Really don't want green ink if we can possibly help it. So I'm just going to remove that little spot of yellow ink from on there before we start doing anything mixing with it. Right, let's pick up some balmy blue ink. We're going to add in some sort of background colour. Oh, that was a bit smooshy. I don't know quite what happened there. Must have picked up a bit of fluff or something, I think. But that's okay, because we're going to be adding in our little deer anyway. Very cute. Let's come back to our stamp set and let's add in a little bit more of this detail. I think I'm going to have a stump. And some soft suede ink for the stump in the background. And just there. And a little watercolour pencil, I think, and just add in some colour in there. very gently going to go over the top of that with a blender pen because it is ordinary cardstock rather than shimmery white watercolour card. So it won't take a lot of blending, but a bit of a tickle will be fine. And I think I'll come in with this little bird. Oh, he'll be sitting the wrong way if I put him on. So perhaps we won't have the little bird. Perhaps we'll have the little rabbit. Go up to a B block for our little bunny. He's still going to be sitting the wrong way. Perhaps that's why the little deer is rearing up. He's a bit annoyed at this bunny sitting the wrong way. I inked that up too much and pressed too much in the middle, so we have a little bit of a blob just there. But we'll make it a feature. Let's have a bit of Cajun craze. Let's have a little bit of Calypso coral. Come in with a little bit of white, I think. Just going to give my pencil a little bit of a sharpen. So let's have Calypso coral in these ears. Let's have a little bit of Calypso coral around that nose and mouth. Let's have some white on that tail. Just to add a little bit more, I'm going to come in with some of the brown. A bit of Cajun craze as well, so sort of slightly more reddy brown. Let's come in with our blender pen. Slightly dark around the ears. Add a bit more brown to the stump just so that he's it's very different in colour from the rabbit. Now we've got some of the little grassy flowery bits here. That looks like grass. It doesn't look like the little pieces that are in there. Let me just get a green ink pad. Oh, there we go. Thought I was going mad there for a moment. That's my stump. These are my flowers and things. Okay, let's add in some of these little flowers and things. Let's add some colour to those. Again, bring in watercolour pencils. It really is quite dark, isn't it, today? Unless it's just my laptop that's particularly dark. Picture on my phone doesn't look quite so dark. Let's have some nice red on these toadstools. Hello, Jane. Sorry, I've just looked up and saw your hello. We'll add in some green leaves on our flowers. And shall we have yellow flowers? Some nice orange centre to them, nice and bright and, oh, missed a flower. Bright and sunshiny. Bring back in that green. Let's add in some grassy pieces around the bottom of this stump. And just add in a bit of green. Down there. Going to take, let's go with the Cajun Craze probably. Just add in a little bit of brown on these toadstool bottoms. What greetings have we got in our stamp set? Let's have a look. Happiness is being with you. Glad you're my friend. Let's go. Happiness is being with you. And we'll come in with, is our little G block going to be enough? I think so. It's going to come over this green grass a little bit, pull that out. So just gently, because we are on ordinary card rather than watercolour card. I'm going to revert back to my Saddle Brown Stays On. and we'll add in happiness is being with you. And in the bottom there. To bring in some mini dimensionals. Just have a hunt till I find some. Why is it when you're looking for mini dimensionals you can only find the standard size ones? If you're looking for standard size ones you can only find the minis. But here we go. And I've also got a bit of a mini one here that's just got the little bits around the edge. So let's grab a pair of scissors. So I could just do with some little thin strips for these. For the legs and things. Let's have one on there. We'll have one on there and one more for good measure on this leg just here. Take those backing pieces off. And then we'll have our little deer. I'm going to position the feet so they're in between some of those flowers. Okay. Really rather pretty. So let's find some. I'm going to go, I think, Pear Pizzazz or Balmy Blue. Let's see. I might need another piece of Balmy Blue, although we can cut that down. Yeah, I think we'll go that way. I'll cut a mat of Pear Pizzazz. So let's make that 14.4. Throwing your trimmer on the floor is not part of the process. That was an optional extra, not to be recommended to do many times. Let's just pop that back in. So 14.4 by 10. Oh, just battered my deer's nose. And then I'm going to get a piece of Balmy Blue for the card base, I think. Just check the width on that. Slightly bigger than we need it, so let's trim a bit off and score it in half at 10.5. So this really is about making it whatever size your standard card bases are. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little deer. Oh dear. I'm going to chop her down so that that is a slightly more balanced picture. We'll have our pear pizzazz in the background, and then I think what we will do is we will emboss this layer. So we could use one of the narrow embossing folders and just literally have a piece that's embossed down the centre, but I think I will go with the 3D embossing folder, if only I can see what safe place I put that in, just here. So as part of the suite in the annual catalogue with the trees, you do get the bark 3D embossing folder. Now obviously I am going to need to run this through my larger machine because it's not going to go, it's too wide for my mini, but it is rather a beautiful embossing folder. So let's just run that through there. I shall need my number 1 plate, my embossing folder with the hinge going through the machine first, and my number 4 plate on the top. And that's a really lovely, deep embossed finish on there. And I have got some of the crumb cake. So in the Essentials Bacon's twine set, you do get some crumb cake twine. So we might add some of that in as well. So let's stick our deer to our embossed background. Let's add in some of this twine. I think we'll wrap it round twice, and we could really do with it being this side because we've got our sentiment this side. So let's have a bit of something that side. Turn it around the right way to have a bit of a tweak with that. Let's stick that on there. Oh. I do keep battering this little deer on the front here. I think the other thing that I will bring in is possibly a bit of a cloud. Let's have a look. Let's punch out a couple. I'm not going to worry about the fact that we're missing a bit of cloud there because I'm going to overlap them anyway. I'm going to take the blue that's still on my blending brush and just come around the edge. I think we'll have those so they go over the top there. A little bit, about like that. I want it to be a little bit darker, I think. I don't really want to re-ink it because I don't want it to be too dark. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these two clouds together first because I'm wanting to make sure that I cover up that sort of little gap in the punching. And to put dimensionals on the top. And I'll put a little bit of Tombow on the bottom. So then it'll sort of keep it risen up over here and give it a bit of height on the top there and bring it down on the bottom. So there we are, a couple of little clouds added in. And let's finish with decisions. Might add in actually a little of these sea glass pieces. These are from the Artfully Composed. Just going to add some of these in down the bottom here. Let's have another one just here. And that just will give a bit of a 3D texture to that bottom bit. So there we are, just a bit of fun building up a little bit of a scene with our little deer. So that was watercoloured. Let's move them to one side. Ooh. Pop my twine away. Then for the other one, let's bring in some trees. I'm going to go with the smaller tree. Got some little bits stuck in my dye. I obviously didn't clean it out properly last time I used it. Naughty me. So I'm going to take this tree trunk just here and I think some soft suede. I'm going to cut out a couple of trees. Let's find our plates for our mini. So we put our number 1 plate, one of our very well loved number 2 plates. And a second one. I'm just going to put that on there a bit of an angle because I want to try and get 2 trees out of this piece of card. Let's wind that through. And there's 1. Swing this bit of card round. Let's grab our tree again. Pop that on there. And wind it through. Pop him out of the way for a minute. We have 2 of those small trees, and if we look at the stamp set, we've got like the smaller canopies that will go with those trees. So you can do a bit of 2-step stamping, and obviously it's going to depend what time of year you're in as to what stamps you want. So if you look, one of them, I don't know how well this is going to show up, that one, can you see the difference between these 2 stamps? This one is sort of far more a sort of almost solid, but with just a bit of engraving in the surface, whereas this one is far more detailed. So this one is going to be the one that's going to give us this, whereas this one is going to be the one that gives us this sort of an effect. So I think I'm going to go in with this stamp just here. And some pear pizzazz. Right, check. Oh, sorry. You don't want to see all the bits of paper on my floor and my feet. Let's come in with this one with some pear pizzazz. Oh, move these up the way for now. And the other one, to bring in some Blushing Bride. Let's see how we go. And let's line that up over the top there. Got a nice mark just there, but that's okay. What we've got is this sort of green and pink effect going on, which is what I wanted, because certainly here in the UK we are very definitely getting blossom on our trees. And let's have some green. And then come in over the top with that pink. Let's cut those out. To trim this piece of card down. Let's not lose that. That will be good for a bit of greeting or something. Trim that down. Bring in our machine. And somewhere we have a die that should cut these pieces out. There's one little tree just off of camera shot. Let's bring this back up. It seems to have wandered. It's not quite surprising if I would insist on knocking it, but. And here comes our other tree canopy. Let's have a little thank you. Could be anything. It could be thinking of you. Could be all sorts of nice little greetings in there. Thinking of you, I believe in you, hello. But we'll go with thank you. To use the reverse of this where it isn't blended blue. And I think we'll go with Pear Pizzazz. That's a little bit wonky, but that's okay. Hopefully we can straighten that up in the cutting process. Just make sure we line the bottom of our die with the bottom of our greeting. There we are, straightened that up a little bit. Right, so that's some trees and a greeting cut from that Beauty of Friendship bundle. Let's come back to our other set now. I'm going to bring in the tree again. You do get just the outline with this rather than coloured on the inside. Will that fit on there? Yes, it will. Let's go soft suede because that's the colour we used for the bark on the tree. My soft suede might need a re-ink. Oh no, that's okay. And again, I've managed to over ink the stamp and press it too hard. but we'll work with that. So what we want now is a bit of pear pizzazz, and I think I'm going to dig into my stamping white markers. I don't do that very often. Let's find a soft suede. Let's dig about a bit more and hopefully find a pear pizzazz. And with a bit of luck, some blushing bride. Although actually, what I am going to do is bring in another blender brush. We'll add some blushing bride with a blender brush. So let's just come in and add in our leaves. So these are pear pizzazz. So the same colourway that we've done on our other trees. Sort of part pear pizzazz, part blushing bride and smoky slate. You could of course make these multicoloured leaves, multi-tonals. If you were doing an autumn project, you could really go to town with having some yellow, some red, some orange. Do this with your stamping blends, with your watercolour pencils, with your stamping white markers as I'm doing. You could pick up some ink with your blender pen. It's half a treat. So really quite a fun little tree. Let's come in with our soft suede. I think my soft suede has seen better days by the look of it. That's definitely a pen that needs replacing, isn't it? And bring my blender pen in and pull that colour out a little bit. Right, let's come in with our blending brush. And some blushing bride ink. And We'll add that over the top. And we'll just come around the outside, and we have our blushing bride blending going all the way through, so it's not necessarily going to have white edges. I think they're going to be pink. Come in around the edge of here as well. Just take that stark whiteness off the back. We've got our three sort of spring trees, and I think adding into there, we haven't had our little fox or our little bird. So let's bring those in. I don't think he'll quite fit on there. We might add him in on there anyway. So let's have a little fox. And a little bird. Stop pressing so hard, Helen. Cajun greys. We'll leave his tail white. Let's find our Calypso coral. And we'll just make him a little bit pinkier. Around here, and we'll bring in the brown. And just add in slightly darker pieces. Tickle over the top with a blender pen. Don't want to rub too hard. Not sure that that blender pen has got a lot of, slightly better. And our little bird. Bit of crushed curry here. And a bit of brown. Let's just add in a bit of an orange beak. These are quite nice little animals and things that the children would quite enjoy playing with, I'm sure. Lots of little forest friends. Let's cut him out. Not sure what's going on with my laptop today. The screen on it has gone so dark. I keep looking and thinking, oh my word, is that how dark it is for you? But I really don't think it is. I think it is just, I think my screen has gone into nighttime mode. It's saying, oh no, it's Monday morning. I don't want to get up and do things. Don't make me. Let's go around his toes a little bit. Around his face. And then, where's our little bird gone? There he is. We are not going to attempt to cut his feet. Sometimes things are just not worth it. That, I think, is one such occasion. But we will have him sitting with our thank you. Right, okay. I think we'll go with a 9.5 centimetre square piece of card. Let's come in again with some balmy blue ink across the top. Ooh, my battery is running low apparently. One moment while we plug that in. Now I've completely knocked my camera. Where are we? There we go. Let's grab our pear pizzazz. No, I think it is literally just dark for me, Jane. I think it is. My screen has obviously turned itself into a dark mode. It does that every now and then. Let's add some pear pizzazz to the bottom there. And then let's have a little look at our trees. I'm going to stick this tree to this trunk so that it is in one piece, like that. That will make them easier to play with. And just add a bit of multi-purpose glue to the back. Stick those in place. So I think we'll have one. I'm going to stick these down flat, just slightly short of the top and to one side. And the other one, again, just take it down a bit more. And this one, no, I'm going to bring this one back up a bit so it's about even. And let's come in with some dimensionals for the back of this one. Come off. I'll have this down here. Let's have our little thank you. I'm going to put a little piece of dimensional that end and a slightly bigger piece at this end. And we'll have that coming over that trunk, just there. Let's bring our little bird we'll have him sitting in there, and then our little fox coming in this end. Will he fit a whole dimensional there? Yes, he will. And then let's trim this bit, and having part of it on his tail, part of it on his body. And we'll have him dashing in from this side. Just going to cut little piece of soft suede that's about 9.7, just so that it gives a bit of a pop underneath there. And then we'll take a bit of thick base, a square card. So this will be just short of 4 inches. I'm going to go for 9.9 because I can get 3 of those. If I cut it at 9.9 that way, 19.8 that way, and score it at 9.9, but not with that blade. It's a little square card that will fit a 4-inch envelope, but is not quite 4 inches, but is the most efficient use of your cardstock. So that's a little bit of basic white. We've got that little matte, then it's just smaller than a card base. Now a card front. It is just slightly smaller than our soft suede matte. And with this one, I think I'm going to come in around the spine and we'll just add a little bow along there. Crush. That bow needs some playing with. I will play with that. Oh, that's a bit better now, it's gone that way. I will play with that as time goes on. Right, okay, so the Friends of the Forest stamp set that coordinates with that deer punch, and we have used that alongside the Beauty of Friendship stamp set and the coordinating dies, and we've also brought in that little that embossing folder that came from the same bundle. And if I can find it, and if I can move some of these things out of the way, and we've created 2 little cards, and I think we've introduced all of those little forest friends in there. We've got the deer, we've got the rabbit, we've got the fox, we've got the little bird, we've got the tree. I think the only stamp we didn't use was one of the greetings. Indeed it was, the one that said, "Glad you're my friend," and we could equally have swapped that out. So 2 little cards using the Forest Friends and the Beauty of the Earth bundle. So let's come back here. Come back up here. I think we've managed to get through without losing sound, so that's good. So thank you for joining us. We'll be back on Friday and we'll be playing with some different products all together, doing different things. So do come and join me then. In the meantime, have a really, really lovely week, and I look forward to catching up with you all very soon.